Hello, I'm Michael, and welcome to my channel, Voyage of the Soul. Today we're going to be doing a pick a card reading, and it's going to be on your life purpose. I'm going to be using each one of these decks for each reading, 4 readings. Pick a crystal, and that will be the reading for you. I hope it relates to you. Please comment, please subscribe. Please tell me if it related to you, if it didn't, or whatever. I hope you enjoy. Those of you who chose Amethyst, these are your cards. We have the Devil, Strength, 2 of Pentacles, 9 of Wands, 10 of Wands, and the Moon. For the Oracle cards, we have Enthusiasm, Modesty, Before Completion, Lynx, Keeper of Secrets, and Polar Bear Mystic. And then I have 3 more cards over here, but there's not enough room, and I'll place those out at the end. So starting with the tarot over here, what I'm really feeling like is there are a lot of you who have gone through some type of addiction, and that it's been a certain battle. With the 9 of Wands and the 10 of Wands, you are ending the completion of that cycle, but although you are wanting to help people with addiction or with the same struggles you have had, you feel a certain split within yourself that is saying that you have to be completely healed or completely free from whatever this Devil card is to be able to help people. And with that card, the Moon, this is causing a certain lack of clarity concerning your passion to help people. Now, I also feel like this Moon card representing the Mother is kind of something that is needing to go away. And so in this reading, it feels like what will disappear is this belief that you have to be completely done with this to be able to help people. For one thing, you've already gained a lot of tools because you've had to persevere a lot. This Strength card with these cards means you've gone through a lot to me. You've gone through a lot. It's been very difficult for many of you. And so with your life purpose, I'm feeling like it's definitely involved with whatever this is you went through, which to me, it feels like some type of addictive thing. And then there's this other group that feels like maybe there was some type of mental abuse. But either way, the purpose for this set of people feels like it has a lot to do with helping people either become sober or helping people recover from a certain type of mental abuse. A lot of this is having to do with the mind. And so you have this certain presence to you that feels very safe to people. And so one of your purposes is just your ability to be present with certain people who have gone through a lot. You're a very loyal person who's able to hold secrets with this card. And with this over here, I feel like this is just related to this, that you're not really done with this cycle completely. It's still there, but it's coming toward the end. But the biggest thing is, like, I want to turn this card over and say there doesn't have to be any more confusion or lack of clarity on what your purpose is. You are now being confirmed in this message. You're getting confirmation in this message about what your purpose is. You're here to help people either recover from trauma or addictions, and that your presence is an equal balance of enthusiasm and humility and modesty, and that makes people feel very safe with you. They feel like they can trust you. On top of that, you have a certain knowledge here with the Polar Bear and being the Mystic card. It's like you have a certain layer of knowledge. So I'm getting a lot of you may feel like you've actually brought in knowledge from before you incarnated here from other places. And so you may feel like there's a couple different layers of who you are and what you're able to offer people. There's the layer of what you've experienced and how you've come through it and the knowledge you've gained to get through that. But then there's a certain innocence here with the Polar Bear Mystic card. I'm feeling that before you got, like, you may not be like many other people, and that there's a certain energy, essence that you carried into this realm that you're actually supposed to share with the world. and that actually you have been sharing that with the world, and that it's always there for you, but it's just kind of believing that you don't have to be completely healed yourself to help other people heal. Let's go to, these are just my cards. I just wrote on them like little things. I did it really quick, and I'm like, okay, I just want things that I know I need to hear. So what came up for you is anger is an ally, Chiron in the 4th house. So if you guys don't know astrology, Chiron is the wounded healer, and so here's a further confirmation. I have all of these. So out of all these cards, there's only one healer card. So that is a confirmation out of all those cards I have there, which I don't know, maybe 30 or something, 40, 50. You have Chiron, the wounded healer. You have the 4th house. The 4th house in astrology has to do with family. This could be a family counselor or someone who's here to help release generational trauma, but also able to help heal families. Now, the anger is an ally card is one of my favorite cards because I'm feeling intuitively now that to finish off this this portion, right? Where's the other one? Here it is. This portion right here, the end, before completion. To actually fully release from this, to be able to manifest a more confidence in your ability to be present and to help people, you have to be able to use your anger to pull you out of the states of powerlessness from the people who have broken your boundaries and have been controlling around you. So the key here is to basically recognize the gifts we have from the trauma we've experienced, which I think from a lot of you is either mental abuse or addiction. To bring both parts of ourselves, the part of us that's in doubt, and also and the other part that's in full knowing of our purpose, bring them together along to use this as confirmation for what we already know, and to use our anger to get us out of any states of powerlessness. That way we can actually be able to do what we want, which is hold presence for people, and to help people heal from addictions as well as mental trauma. I hope this relates for all of you guys. If it does, please comment below and let me know. For those of you who picked the blue crystal, which comment down below if you remember, know what this is called, because I forget. These are your cards. So let's start up here. We have peace, darkening of light, duration for the oracle cards. For the animal cards that represent you, we have dear love, squirrel, always prepared. And then for the tarot, we have 8 of wands, 4 of cups, knight of pentacles, ace of wands, the hanged man, lover's card, 4 of swords, and 2 of swords. So immediately what I got for this group is you're very independent in that you're almost like the entrepreneur type. You like to be your own bosses and do your own thing, and you feel very grounded in doing so. You might be working a job in which, or you may always find yourself when you're working your typical jobs that people have, really not enjoying it, really thinking you want to do your own thing. And so if that's you, this is confirmation that you are meant to be doing your own thing. You're meant to be your own boss, your own manager. So I feel like you're pretty peaceful people and simple people, as far as like you might like have your life where people see, but then like you feel like your real self is really all of these things you do by yourself in your own mind, your own ideas, kind of like the introvert type of people. You feel very like earth sign. That's the energy I'm picking up with this. Very stable and secure, and you have a lot of earth elements here, as well as the swords. And then 1 wand and 1 cup. So one of the messages I'm getting is that you're trying to have a lot of ideas about things you're supposed to be going towards, or like your life purpose. And you are actually one of these people who need to disconnect from society to have a better understanding of what your purpose is, specifically electronics and also just the general population. This card right here is dissolving judgments. And it says, I don't have to like the actions of others in order to love my journey. So this is just about, so this card's just about the idea that you really don't need, at least for you guys right now, to worry about loving the people in your life, enjoying them. What you need to do is you need to find meaning within your own journey, to find love in your own journey, which those people may be involved in your own journey, but you don't have to love them to love your journey. Over here we have the Eight of Wands, the Four of Cups, and the Knight of Pentacles. So I see the potential. With the Eight of Wands, you always have quick movement. In the Four of Cups, we're talking about like contemplation, at least for this card. And then we have the Knight of Pentacles. So you're trying to produce something. You're trying to put something out in the world, and you're trying to figure out what it is. To me, your purpose is to be some type of entrepreneur, to come up with something that's much more independent of what society is doing now. And that maybe not in this reading I'm going to tell you what that is, but that by disconnecting from electronics and from society in general, that idea can come to you. And I feel like with this card, the Eight of Wands, the Four of Cups, that when you spend time disconnecting from your daily routine, I feel like you have this part of you that desires this, but you really got too wrapped up in society and the daily routine that you really need to disconnect from that, because once you do that, you're going to have a fast-paced momentum for ideas to come through. So with this card, I feel like this is you right here, the Knight of Pentacles. And it feels like you're trying to present something in physical form to humanity or to the world. And so this could mean someone who's like an inventor, or someone who creates something physical for people to touch and to see. We also have the Ace of Pentacles here, the Hanged Man, and the Lover's card. This Ace of Pentacles, I'm feeling, is like to change your perception of what you can create in this world with these two together. Because some of you feel like you could do something really great, but you need to change your perception of that your capability of doing it. It feels like in this group there could be a lot of conditioning from society bearing you down about what is actually possible for you to do. A lot of people in your head saying that's not possible, you need to do this, that's not smart, that's not mature. And so with these two cards here, it's time to get rid of those perceptions that were never yours. That when you find your life purpose and your meaning in this physical, stable way by disconnecting and deconditioning yourself from the beliefs of what is actually possible for you, then along with that energy helps you actually find someone. This could be like either a romantic partner, or to me also it feels like a lot of you would go into partnerships with someone similar who wants to actually produce something. So this very much feels like your role is to physically produce or be like an entrepreneur to create something new. Last, we have the Four of Swords and the Two of Swords. It feels like at the end of this reading, what you're being guided to do is to take a step back. To take a step back and to contemplate these ideas. It feels like the winter months are going to be kind of like a hibernation as you emerge, where you get to choose to emerge out of these previously held ideas of who you are. And with this, it seems like your identity is somewhat blocked by the conditioning in which you've experienced, and that a lot of your purpose is actually tied into your identity of who you think you are. So that's kind of the recommendation for what's coming up. But then these cards right here are just ones I quickly wrote down. So 10th house, all the astrology cards came up. And we have the 10th house, the 4th house, and the 7th house. So like all these different houses. So what this is telling me is that the 10th house in astrology represents career, the 4th house is family, and the 7th house is partnerships. And so I'm wanting to pull this card back up because for a group of you, what you want to do is being hindered by your partner and by your family, unfortunately. In that when you break free from the thoughts and ideas that your partner is giving you or your family has given you, that you're going to more readily come into your ability to produce something and find your purpose. For another group of you, it's going to be the opposite. That actually your purpose has to do with having a family and a partner. And it's going to be all of them together. Now with the 11 card, I'm feeling like maybe also some of you are having to choose between a career and your family and partner. And so the 11th card, so for this group, I'm feeling like your dreams and wishes are dependent on this choice. Because the 11th house and the 11 to me represents light and wishes and dreams. And so you're having to contemplate if you actually want to go towards your dreams. Overall, though, the message for this is that you guys are a group of independent, stable people who are your purpose is to produce something or to come up with something. Your purpose is to come up with something in the physical reality and be like an entrepreneur or a creator of something people can either physically touch or see. If this relates to you, please comment down below. I'd love to hear your opinion. For those of you who picked the Moonstone, the message was that you don't really need any cards. And actually, it's quite simple. You don't need reassurance. You don't need anybody to tell you what your purpose is. You already know. And then for the second half of you, there's two parts. If you don't know, it's not right. It's not the time to know. It's like part of you, we're just needing to rest, relax, clean a few things up, and take care of yourselves in order to allow yourself to know, what your purpose was. And then there was the other group where it's like you don't need to give your power away and have someone tell you what your purpose is, because you already know what your purpose is. So if any of those two things relate to you, please comment down below. Thank you. For the group that chose Crystal Quartz, here are your cards. Discipline, duration, the marrying maiden, a compromising situation, subordination, succumbing to seduction, manipulation, low self-esteem. So starting with these cards over here, I feel like you guys are coming out of a time that has been very hard, as well as this Four of Swords time. I feel like in the Eight of Swords, it feels like you guys are coming out of a time where you felt kind of stuck with the Eight of Swords. And the message here is that with the Earth card, Tarot, completion, that you're done with this phase. And that part is ending. And with the Ace of Swords, inspiration, Four of Pentacles, and all these other cards, this is like where you're moving to. I feel like you guys in the past did a job or are doing a job that doesn't feel authentic to you. So right now you're stuck in a situation where you're doing something where you don't feel doesn't support you and what you feel like this card, it's like a compromise. And so maybe you went into a profession or a job wanting to protect people, or you're wanting to do something where you're like a protector or guardian with these cards over here, but that either you went into a job that has kind of those same, you thought was going to fulfill that, but didn't, or you were wanting to move towards that, but you're stuck inside of this more difficult phase of your life. The good news here is with the completion card, you're done with the contemplation about what you want to do. You need to make a change, and you're kind of finding this inspiration to do so. Overall, for your purpose, it seems like you're here to be like, it feels either like a police officer, a social worker, an advocate of something, with the protection and the guardian card, the sea turtle and the black bear. Feels like you're here to help people, especially in a nurturing or protective way. I feel like you guys are protectors of some sort. So again, it could be like police officer, social worker, humanitarian, something of this sort that you have here. But the key for this transition is to realize that this old path you have is really not authentic to you at all, and that you're coming into a completion, and that you have this Ace of Wands energy, which is it's a fire energy to get you started, get the momentum started towards this other path. With this other path, you're going to find it more emotionally fulfilling. And I think it needs, let's say over here you're actually doing a job protecting people, but it wasn't what you wanted. If you transition over to whatever this energy is over here, a more authentic way to protect and to guard people or the world, you're going to find it more gentle and more emotionally fulfilling and more fun. Now, let's say the same thing's true over here. If you're doing a job that you're not inspired by and you transition over here, you're going to end up finding a lot more emotional satisfaction. And I almost feel like a big group of you is going to find a big relief, because maybe you've been doing things, you haven't been enjoying them, and it's because you're not kind of having these it doesn't have these qualities to it, what you have been doing. This protection energy and this guardian energy. Now let's go into the cards that I'm just drawing some cards of stuff that I relate to, then I picked them. So you guys are intense people, especially in your communication, and with Pluto, you're someone who grew up with different power struggles, maybe even regarding your siblings. And so this Pluto energy is relating to your desire to protect and be a guardian of, because maybe no one guarded over you or protected you. So you're an intense person. Pluto energy are intense people. Now, I'm seeing the 10th house and the 2nd house. This is talking about the importance for you to have a career that lines up with your values. That what you desire to do has a lot to do with your values. The 2nd house has to do with values and money. But specifically, it's about your values. And so I think what you value in life is being a protector and a guardian. And so that has a lot to do with your purpose. And actually, I'm feeling with this 12 that I need to pick one more card to signify what this means. And I'm wanting to pick one more animal card. What does this 12 mean? Okay, here we go. Rebirth, okay. So what this card is saying, at first I thought this meant 12 to me was meaning completion. It usually doesn't mean that to me, but in this case it was. But I'm like, okay, let's just pick one more card to see. So the Earth card is completion, and that's like this transition, and then the butterfly is rebirth. And so I'm feeling this energy or this desire for you to recreate yourself, and you may not know where that when you recreate yourself, you might not know what that will end up like. And so if you're one of those people, maybe consider this idea that you're actually a protector and a guardian. But either way, this energy is just saying that you are going from this one phase to this other. In that this phase over here was very difficult. I'm thinking since September was maybe throughout that time, September, October, November, was a difficult time, and now you're coming out of that phase with this inspiration energy, the butterfly energy. And like I said before, this is the major theme right here, is that you guys are protectors and guardians. If this relates to you, please comment below. I hope you enjoyed.